All right, man, peace. So, brothers, I did a video a while ago pertaining to a comparison between Joel Embiid and Anthony Davis, two of the superstar centers in the NBA today. And in my analysis, I stated the pros and the cons for both players when compared and contrasted. And I'm now starting to realize that both teams may have some potential issues with their respective big men that might be alleviated if they traded each big man for the other. I happened to catch a Colin Cowherd segment on Fox Sports 1 the other day in which he stated that of the two superstars, or the two young stars, let me correct myself, that are currently on the Philadelphia 76ers, that being Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, the player that he would trade would be Joel Embiid. And I sat back and I thought about it, because for all intents and purposes, Joel Embiid is considered to be a better player than Ben Simmons right now. Right now, Joel Embiid is considered as a top 10 player in the NBA. Ben Simmons is not. But in the aftermath of Game 3, in which the Philadelphia 76ers were able to trounce the Brooklyn Nets, I saw with even greater clarity what Colin Cowherd was talking about. That being that Ben Simmons' game is getting impacted and compacted by playing alongside of Joel Embiid. So anyway, they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
After scoring 27 combined points in games 1 and 2, Ben Simmons goes off for 31 points and 9 assists in a win over the Nets without the help of one Joel Embiid.
And he looked extremely dynamic in that game too, Ben Simmons did.
Simmons' name in trade rumors before. Max, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Is he untouchable?
He should be. And
I agree. Ben Simmons should be untouchable right now. I think that he's someone that, once they establish the correct offensive system, he's going to be a top 10 player in the NBA. And that might mean trading Joel Embiid.
And it's largely because of, well, first, let me start this way.
Okay.
I said earlier in the season,
And if the Philadelphia 76ers were to trade Joel, they should do it now. Do it now while he's still considered a great and dominant big man. Do it now before his body starts to break down, which it appears it's on its way to doing. I think that Anthony Davis would fit in on their team much better than Joel Embiid does right now.
he's got to get away from Joel Embiid. It's not because they can't play together. It's not because they're going to be tough to beat together or they couldn't have a very fruitful career together. It's that when I see Ben Simmons, I see the Greek freak.
Yeah.
I see the potential for that. Except Ben Simmons, of course, is a better passer than the Greek freak is, even though the Greek freak is a great passer himself. I do see the potential for that. If you get Ben Simmons out there on the wing, or especially at the top of the circle, and you clear out, you gave him 3 or 4 shooters, and he can go one-on-one against his man, he can do a lot of Greek freak stuff. But with Joel Embiid clogging up the lane, that affects Ben Simmons' offensive game.
I see an unusually tall point guard or point forward. He's
Point guard.
He's got crazy handles,
Yes, he does.
crazy court vision, a great passer. He can take it hard to the rack, and
He also shows great tenacity. And this sentiment that's being pushed by many of Ben Simmons' naysayers, that he does not play well in the playoffs, is unfounded. This is only his 3rd round in the playoffs. And last year, he was great against Miami in the 1st round. In the 2nd round, he was nullified by the Boston Celtics. We'll put it down as a learning experience. He's going to have a chance to redeem himself in the next round against, I believe they'll be playing the Toronto Raptors. So that's when we'll be able to establish exactly how great or how impactful a playoff performer he is. But I do think that he's being stifled by Joel Embiid. So they're going to have to figure out exactly what they want to do. Because right now, as they're currently configured, I don't think that they're a championship level team. So if you want to go from being good to being great, sometimes you have to make controversial decisions.
and he's willing to do it. Great in the open floor, as Dudley just said. He's an excellent defender and a versatile defender. He's just even a couple of years younger than the Greek freak.
He's only 22 years old.
Remember when Antetokounmpo was 22?
Yeah.
He was really good, but he won this. I expect Simmons to be some version of this, but in order to reach his full potential, there can't be a guy clogging the middle.
Agreed.
Right? And that's not that Embiid always does. But he's really, as you said, he really should get down low on mismatches more often and shoot the three maybe a little less often considering his shooting.
One of two things are going to have to happen in order for the Embiid-Ben Simmons experiment to work. Either you keep Embiid and Ben Simmons becomes far more proficient as an outside shooter, which I doubt, or you trade Embiid and you allow Ben Simmons free reign of the entire middle of the court in a half-court set.
Shooting percentage from outside. So really, if you see the way Budenholzer did it around the Greek Freak, it's surround him with shooters and let him do that thing where he either yams it on you or he finds the open man. I think Simmons could be the centerpiece of a championship quality team designed that way.
Well, as long as they have about 3 or 4 3-and-D guys playing alongside of him. Yes, I can see that as well. And they're also going to have a center who could be a stretch 5. Anthony Davis, do you want him to be predominantly a stretch 5? I think that he's someone who, due to his mobility and his great footwork, maybe if you were to trade Joel Embiid for an Anthony Davis, you could bring Anthony into the fold and he could be a part-time Chris Bosh type and also get down in the low post, in the mid post, or face up his man if Ben Simmons just wants to give him the basketball.
But that's not the way the Sixers are designed. I would not move Simmons.
Well, first of all, it's nice that you've reached that conclusion. Welcome to the party. I will tell you this, however. My opinion has not changed about Ben Simmons. I believe that Ben Simmons is a superstar in the making.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I believe that Ben Simmons is a jump shot away from the Philadelphia 76ers winning the title.
Stephen A. Smith, you said this before. I have news for you. If you think that Ben Simmons is a jump shot away from the Philadelphia 76ers winning an NBA title, then you're saying that they're never going to win. They're going to have to learn how to win, building around the things that Ben Simmons can do as opposed to what he glaringly cannot do. It's not even like Ben Simmons has a poor jump shot. He's atrocious as an outside offensive player beyond 10 feet. So we have to stop concentrating on his jump shot and start focusing on what type of personnel are we surrounding him with to make sure that we can optimize what he can do.
That's how great he is. And oh, by the way, I'll tell you the number one thing I've come to love about him. His attitude. He don't give a damn about nothing.
I agree. He's a dog. He does not give a shit about a damn thing. It appears as if he did not even give a shit about his cousin the night that his cousin appeared to be sacrificed, allegedly.
I mean, he is fearless. He ain't scared. He's a rough rider. He's a dog, and I mean that in a very, very good way. He's that kind of guy. I'm at the game last night at the Barclays Center, and they're booing him every time he touched the floor. He making plays. He's yamming it on people. He's looking at the crowd. He did everything but give them the finger. And
He should have did that then.
And I'm telling you right now, I was very disappointed in the performance from the Brooklyn Nets. I was very proud of those fans of Brooklyn Nets.
Stephen A. Smith, come on. What is Brooklyn? A 7th seed? A 6th seed? At the end of the day, they got their game. They were able to win a game. You would hope that they could win another game in Brooklyn. They're going to get closed out.
I was at the Barclays Center. It wasn't an empty seat in the house, bro. Brooklyn stood up. They showed up, and that team let them down last.
The problem with the Brooklyn crowd is people have this belief, or they have this view of the Brooklyn crowd at the Brooklyn Nets games being this rowdy street crowd. They're not. The Brooklyn crowd at the Barclays Center is mostly made up of the artsy-fartsy types. It's not the street dudes.
Last night, without Joel Embiid and with that crowd there, you were supposed to perform a hell of a lot better. They couldn't make shots. They were just doing. They got there. They dug themselves too much of a hole. Here's where I don't believe Ben Simmons is untouchable, however. And oh, by the way, there was a story that was circulating out there. Bottom line is this. I spoke to the Sixers. There's no truth to it whatsoever, according to them. It never happened in terms of Ben Simmons,
whether or not he's touchable.
Well, the full story actually is that Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, number one, don't get along. Number two, that they've tuned out Brett Brown. Number three, that Brett Brown had one of those old school San Antonio Spurs players come in and talk to the team, and Joel Embiid challenged him. Who was it? Dude with the ball head, the great defensive player from back in the day. Bruce Bowen, that's who it was, Bruce Bowen. Supposedly Brett Brown had Bruce Bowen come speak to the team about how to win and building a winning culture, and Joel Embiid decided that he was going to challenge Bruce Bowen while he was speaking, and it became a big thing. Both sides became very cantankerous. That's according to the report. How true that is, who knows?
Hold up. Untouchable, you mean you wouldn't trade anybody for him?
In other words,
right? That's what we're saying.
Well, what's the other definition for untouchable? You damn bubblehead.
In other words, there was never a conversation with the organization about whether or not Ben Simmons is to go someplace or not, or whether or not he was untouchable. It's according to the Sixers. Yes. It is utter nonsense. That report, they don't even want to hear about it. Okay, I just spoke to them right before the show. Just want to make sure that everybody understands that. But to get to the point about Ben Simmons being touchable, here's the only thing that I would tell you. I want Ben Simmons to understand this is not about him. It's about the health of Joel Embiid. And I think Joel Embiid is going to be just fine. I don't think they should play him the rest of the series because I think you could beat you beat the Nets with or without him.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that you sit Joel Embiid for the rest of this series unless the Nets show themselves to be a real threat, and you let him convalesce and be prepared for that next series against the Toronto Raptors because they're going to need all hands on deck.
Yeah.
Right, but here's the reality. Joel Embiid, because his knee is an issue, his back has been an issue, which is something, Max, you've alluded to in the past. A guy like Anthony Davis, the only reason I would consider it is because Anthony Davis can play the 4 or the 5 and cover. Now, it won't happen because the Sixers ain't going to do it. And because I think Ben Simmons is going to be a superstar. But what I'm saying is because Joel Embiid is so valuable, if his health is questionable, you got an issue because Joel Embiid and Anthony Davis can coexist with one another. Anthony Davis could spell for the absence of a Joel Embiid if necessary. And that's the only reason you would even consider it. But even then, I have a hard time letting go of Ben Simmons
how far
because
can
he's
the
that
Sixers
legit.
go without a healthy Joel Embiid?
They could win a playoff series because they're more talented than the Nets.
I agree. Without Joel Embiid, they'll win this round. I don't think that they're going to win the next round either way, even with Joel. But you never know because they are going to have more talent than the Raptors. I just think that the Raptors are probably going to execute better out there on the basketball floor because I'm not a huge admirer of the coach of the Sixers, that being Brett Brown, and his ability to optimize all the pieces that he has.
Because Simmons is really, truly excellent.
They can't get out of the semifinals.
No, I agree.
Without Embiid.
Not without Embiid. And Embiid right now is their best player. If you had to lose Embiid or Simmons right now, you lose Simmons just for the rest of this playoffs or this year, maybe next year. Because Embiid is an MVP caliber player.
Agreed.
Simmons is not yet.
Yeah.
But the question is...
Well, Embiid is an MVP caliber player when he's in great condition. Right now, he's not. And to be quite honest with you, at very few points in his career has he been in great condition.
Who in the NBA would you rather have than the Greek Freak? Because I really believe Simmons is more or less Antetokounmpo, but a couple of years younger. I would rather have anyone than the Greek Freak. So if you're going to move someone because of Embiid's health, to me, it's Embiid. That's the guy you would move because you would keep the Greek Freak style player who's only 22 years old, as you said, and build around him.
Yeah, but again, there's no disagreement here. It's just that for the importance of what the article had intimated about Ben Simmons, that's what we're asking.
Well,
we're asking about the untouchable status of Ben Simmons.
Right.
Now, if we're talking about whether or not Joel Embiid should be untouchable, that's a different discussion.
Well, I'm saying because of Embiid's health, Simmons.
Well, we know Joel Embiid he's not untouchable. As a matter of fact, as I believe Stephen A. Smith is about to bring up, and I do agree with him, that they should possibly pursue trading Joel Embiid for an Anthony Davis, or at least trying to check to see how receptive Rich Paul and David Griffin would be to that trade possibility.
Is untouchable because you can't listen. Embiid is 7 feet plus, and we've never seen a guy with his skills at his size and weight. He's like Andrew Bynum plus.
I love Embiid. I don't want.
Max Kellerman, he just said the dumbest shit. He's like Andrew Bynum plus.
Want Embiid or Ben Simmons to ever leave Philadelphia. The one thing that Embiid definitively has over in Anthony Davis, for example, is personality, because he has the personality to bring along with his game. But
he might have a bit too much personality for his own good.
But speaking strictly about his game, let's be very, very clear. There's nothing that Embiid can do on the basketball court that Anthony Davis can't do.
Well, I think that Joel brings a bit more physical presence. I think that he does that. But when it just comes down to numbers and skill set, I agree. Anthony Davis, he can do everything that Joel can do. In addition to that, I think that he has a more consistent mid-range and outside jump shot as well.
Let's be clear about that.
He's a bit bigger and stronger.
Yeah, but it don't matter. Because Anthony Davis could do the same thing that Embiid does.
AD at this moment is better than Embiid, and a lot of that is because Embiid's played 30-something games, 60-something games, 60-something games.
Well, AD has not been someone who's been known for his health either. I just think that going forward, I believe that Anthony Davis, especially once he goes on to another team and is able to be subjected to a better physical conditioning program than what they have down there in New Orleans, I think that his health is going to become better. Because Anthony Davis is not the only player on the Pelicans who has had health problems. There is an issue with their training and physical conditioning staff. I think that, who knows, maybe if Anthony Davis gets traded to Philly, we might see him play 75 to 80 games over the next 5 years every season. if that's the case, he's going to be worth his weight in gold, because you already know he's going to bring you 26, 13, and 5 assists with 2.5 blocks, so on and so forth.
He still hasn't played a full season. He's 25 years old. He's a giant. He's unusually big.
Yes.
I would not trust his health going forward.
That's fine.
I agree.
That's fine, and that's fine, and we're not even debating the health because we understand that. But what I'm saying to you is this. It's strictly in game, not just health, in game. Let's be very, very clear. There's nothing that Embiid can do on a basketball court that Anthony Davis can't do. Back to the basket, face to the basket, 10 feet away, 5 feet away, 15, 20 feet away. It don't matter. There is nothing that Joel Embiid can do that Anthony Davis cannot do.
Well, he can.
Let's be clear about that.
He can back down a big, strong player, but that's much less important nowadays than it used to be.
Right.
Agreed.
Right, you can say that, but I think that Anthony Davis could do it too because I've seen him do it.
Yeah.
He just doesn't choose to, like Embiid doesn't choose to,
Right.
but he can.
Who'd you rather have posting someone up?
It doesn't matter. Anthony Davis is all world.
Right.
It's all world.
Max says Ben
All
Simmons.
world.
Yeah, he's all world, even though I think that you overrate him a bit, and I have to put a couple notches on his resume based on what I've seen from him this season and his lack of willingness to lead a team that has already shown that they can get to the second round last season. Of course, they don't have Boogie Cousins, and they also did not have Rajon Rondo from last season. But I thought that they added enough talent that had he been the leader that he was supposed to be, he could have gotten them to another second round finish this year. And then after the season, go ahead and demand your trade.
Simmons untouchable. Stephen A says not quite. He won't make All NBA this year, that's for sure.
Well, we'll see. So anyway, peace.